Everyone, we had a class last week. Somebody wants to watch it, you can watch it. Is the mistakes that people make out of Pesach for Pesach. One of them is, we forgot to mention, is the rest. The key is to rest on Erev Pesach. Make sure you take a nap, make sure you are very well relaxed, and most importantly, make sure your children take a nap, because the main guests on Passover Seder are the children. If the children are not going to be with us, our grandchildren, our children, if they're going to fall asleep by us, what's the purpose? What do we get? How are we going to fulfill the mitzvah? So therefore, Rabotai, make sure they get a nap, and make sure you also well rested, have energy to fulfill the mitzvot. So we are starting with the 15 steps. Kadesh, Urchatz, Karpas, Yachatz. There are 15 steps on the Korban, on the Seder. What are they? They are like, imagine like small dots on a drawing. You imagine you have a map, you have a globe, and you have a map and you see little dots over there. Now what are these dots? You're going to say, what are these dots? Each dot represents a city. Each dot represents a big place. It's just a sign. So, but if you actually go there, it's actually a big city. It's not a dot. The city is not a dot. The same thing is here. These 15 steps may seem to you like very arbitrary, but at the end of the day, each one plays a big role. Plays a big role. It has big hints to it. So let's understand what it is. Before a person starts the seder, before you come to shul, you must set up the kiara. Does anybody know what the kiara is? It's the actual plate. The kiara has stuff on it, and every person should follow their minhag. The Sephardim usually follow the arizal. Now, because the question is how to put the matzot. So you see, I have 3 matzot here. How do you put the matzot on the kiara? Imagine this is the plate. I have the kiara. This is the plate. When I put the matzot on top, I put it on the bottom like the Hasidim. What do I do? The Sephardi method is to go like that. Is to put them one on top of the other. You have the matzah and you have the plate like this. Some people maybe lean it a little bit on top. Okay? Because each one corresponds to the 10 sefirot. This is Chokhmah, Bina, Vadat. And then the other 3, the other 7 are the other parts of the sefirot. So therefore, this is the way they properly to do it, is the following way. Okay? But it's clear? Okay? That's how we do it. As we explained last time, that if you take the letters of Kiara, the letters that are before it is Shofar. It's very important because the Parnasa, the Mikubalim write down, your Parnasa is very much dependent on the Kiara. If any person who's a Balabai, a person who's a man, he wants to have Parnasa for this coming year, make sure you are preparing this Kiara before you come to Shul. Not come to Shul and then say, oh, where's the salt water? Where's the Charosed? Where is the Maror? No, prepare it before you come. So therefore, that's very important. The Shulchan Aruch says you should prepare your place. You should prepare your place before you come to Bet Knesset. Where are you going to sit? How are you going to sit? All those preparations must be done today. Okay? The first step is to understand the importance of this night. You have to realize this night is not a simple night. This night, a lot of things happened on this night. Sarah was guarded from house of Amelech. Angels came to visit Avraham. It was on Passover night. Lot was saved from Sodom. Was on Passover night. Yaakov Avinu fought the fight with the angel. Was on Passover night. A lot of things historically happened on Passover night, and whatever happened that time is going to actually can happen again. So therefore, very importantly, is on this night also Yaakov got the blessing from Yitzchak Avinu. So therefore, and Yaakov got the blessing. This is the blessing that he was taking away from Esav. So therefore, Rabotai, there's a minhag also to bless everyone. Rabbi Nissan Shalomayev brings that that every person should bless everyone on the Passover night, because this is the night where Yaakov got the blessings, and we also can do the blessings. Which means Hashem is giving out blessing on this night. So therefore, Rabotai, take grab as many blessings as you can. So let's begin the Passover Seder. The Passover Seder starts the following: you come and you make sure everybody's seated. And once everybody's seated, what do? You're going to pour the cup of wine. That's how you go. That's how you do it. Very easy. You pour the cup of wine or grape juice, whichever one you're going to drink. You don't have to fill it up all the way. You see, it's not full. It's a little bit, there's a little space on top. That is how you fill up a cup. We explained that the minhag, the custom of the Bukharan Jews, is to pour the kos shel Eliyahu also right during the first cup. You pour, everybody else pours for each other. You don't pour for yourself on this night. Everybody pours for each other, and as a leader, you must announce, because a lot of people here are going to be leaders. You're going to have people that don't know so much. You have to do the announcements that we spoke about last class. You can watch it. Make sure you lean on the left side. Leaning, as I explained, it's not in the air. If you have a table, if you have a chair and you have a back, you will lean towards the back and you leave on a 45-degree angle. And if not, you take something else. And if you can just do it against the table. Move to the other side and make sure you lean on the table. But it has to be on something. And like we said, once you put the cup in your mouth, you don't put it down. What do you have to do? You have to drink it all the way till the end. You must remind this to your people. So we fill the cup, we pour the Eliyahu Navi cup, and we are ready to go. You stand up, and you actually pick up the cup. How do you pick up the cup? There's many ways to hold the cup. Some Bukharians, they hold the cup like this. This is how they hold the cup. That's not the best way. The best way is to make sure all your 5 fingers are on the cup. So either you pick up the cup like this, e.g. if you have a leg, this cup, you put all your 5 fingers like that on the cup. Okay? Some Hasidim hold like this. There's many ways to hold the cup, but make sure your hands, your 5 fingers are very important. That the 5 fingers should be on the cup. So I remember if the Bukharians, they used to hold, they never held like this. They would probably, if they would hold it, they probably would put the 5 fingers under the plate. That's how they would do it. Most likely they would do it like this. Okay, so if you're gonna want to do your old Bukharian way, probably most likely this is the best way to do it. Okay, so that's when it comes to cup. You stand up and you start saying the first step of the kiddush is Sarim Baranam Bore Peregef, and then you say the Sheb Bacharbanu Mikolam and Mikadesh Yisrael Azmanim, and then the third bracha. What are we gonna make the third bracha? Shechianu. Very good. Shechianu has to go only on the cup of wine, or what? Shechianu has to cover all mitzvot of the night. There's a mitzvah of, do we make Shechianu on matzah? No. We make once a year when matzah comes. Why do we make Shechianu? Because this Shechianu in the Kiddush covers all the mitzvot of the night. Have that kavanah. Have that kavanah that all the mitzvot, maror, charose, all the mitzvot that we do during the night, Shechianu covers it. Okay? Once we did that, we lean and drink the first cup of wine. You don't. How much do you have to drink the cup? Rov, majority, 51% of the cup. If you drink 51% of the cup, you are yotzeh, but the best is to drink the whole thing. Make sure your cup has a good enough size, 86 grams minimum. Okay? Any questions? Good. Next is urchatz. Then, as a leader, before you let everyone get off the table, you tell them, Rabotai, we're going to wash hands for karpas. Karpas is celery, not rotundak. Bukharians did not have celery in Uzbekistan. That's why they used to use watercress. If you see that leafy vegetable, that thing has a lot of bugs, much more bugs than lettuce, because it's very green. So try to use celery. Imagine this is celery. This is not celery. But imagine the celery. It would look like this. Make sure it's clean. Make sure there's no bugs. Also, if you should not see any bugs going all over it. There should be tunnels. Usually, sometimes if you have zigzaggy lines, make sure that you don't see that. You take that. You're gonna make sure you're gonna put it in a cup in a salty water. Right? We have a salty water here somewhere, and you're going to take a salty water and you're going to dip it. That's what you're going to explain to people before you do it. You're going to say, before we do that, we have to wash our hands. We have to wash our hands before we do that. But do we make a bracha? No, we do not make a bracha. So therefore, announce this, because this is compared to like a Kohen Gadol. Like Kohen Gadol will wash his hands before he does the avodah. That's what we are doing on this night. So everybody gets there. Huh?
Cilantro.
How much? No, not you could use cilantro, but again, it's you could use potatoes even. But the minhag is to use celery. The top of the line is celery. The top of the line, try to get celery. That is the best way. What do we then? After you sit down, you don't wash your hands. You sit down and you put. Everybody takes a little bit, which means a small tiny piece like this, a small tiny piece, less than 27 grams of karpas, and you dip it in salt water and you make borei peri adama. What should this borei peri adama cover? This borei peri adama should cover the maror, this lettuce that we're gonna eat later on. This adama should cover it in the meal. Have that kavanah. Try to announce this to the people. Do we lean when we eat celery? No, we don't eat when we eat celery. Very good. Why do we eat karpas? Anybody knows why we eat karpas?
For the tears, no? To remind us of the tears?
The salt water. But why do we eat specifically the karpas, the celery? As because this is a tikkun for why we are in Egypt to begin with. Why do we end up in Egypt? Because the brothers sold Yosef. So that's what Ben Ish Chai says. It says kar comes to the words machar, to sell. Pas comes to the words pasim. Keton et pasim. That was the whole fight about. Because the Yosef got a striped jacket. So because of that, that's why we went to Egypt. So therefore, we're trying to remind ourselves, why do we go? What did they do with this jacket? They dipped the jacket in the blood. So therefore, this is why we do it. Okay? Any questions? No. Now, Rabotai, after we did that, they come to the most favorite part of the people. It is, you take the 3 matzot. So this is the 3 matzot. And you're going to have to break one. Why do we break a matzah? Anybody knows? Because the bread has to be lechem oni, a broken bread, a poor man's bread. Poor people don't eat even whole bread. Poor people eat pieces of bread. So therefore, we have to make one of them a poor man's bread. Which one? The middle one. Why do we take a middle one? Anybody knows? There's many explanations why we take a middle one. The Kabbalistic explanation is because this one represents the letter Yud, the second one represents the letter Hey, and the bottom one represents the letter Vav. So the only letter that we want to try to make a letter Dalet and a Vav. So what are we going to do? We're going to take a middle one, and we're going to try to make something like a Dalet and a Vav. Like that. This really looks like a Dalet, this looks like a Vav, right? Pretty much like that. And Hey, because Hey is made up of 2 letters, a Dalet on top and a Vav on the bottom. What's so special about a dalet and a vav? It spells the word do. What's do mean? Do in Aramaic means two. In Bukharian, how do you say two? Do. That's how we say do. What's so special about that? Because do is like a couple. When a couple gets married, what do they make? They make sheva brachot, 7 blessings. How many blessings are going to go before we eat the matzah? Until we get to the matzah, I have a whole list. If you want, I'll tell you. I don't have time to go through it. About 7 brachot. We're going to make about 7 blessings until we reach to the matzah. Also, pay attention. The ring. This looks round like a ring, Also like a sheva brachot. So therefore, that's why we break it. We break the matzah, the middle matzah, and now we put it back. And now we made one bread. Halacha aniyah. It's supposed to be halacha aniyah. Okay, so this becomes lechem oni, poor man's bread. We turn it into poor man's bread. What do we have to do to the big matzah? Anybody remembers? Huh? Hide it. This is called safun. This is called safun. Why do we hide it?
Because when we have food, we hide the big piece for later.
Right. Why hide? Why we have to hide it? Why can't I just leave it on the table? The answer is because this is very powerful. This is like the representative Mikubalim says, just like when we do shofar. When you do shofar, if you remember, the chazan has to cover the shofar all the time. Why? Why do we cover the shofar all the time? Because the klipot want to make sure, the chitzonim want to come and make sure that you don't fulfill the mitzvah properly. They want to grab it. So what do? We cover the shofar, make sure it doesn't touch it, doesn't grab to it. So this is such a powerful matzah, we have to hide it. We have to put it in the bag, make sure it's hidden. The minhag is to give it to the children, to hide it, and there's all sorts of games people play during the seder to make things interesting. But at the end of the day, whichever way it is, if you don't have children, you hide it, you put it away, you put it on top. You don't really have to hide it. And Bukharians have interesting minhag. What they do, I remember when I was a kid, today we all adopt Ashkenazi minhag, but because the kids steal it and they say to the father, you better give me something, promise me something before I give it back to you. Back then Uzbekistan, how was it? No, the grandfather or the father took a towel and he hit you if you don't give it back. You must give it back, otherwise you get more whips. That's how it was. Okay, each one to his minhag. Okay, any questions?
Yeah, Rabbi. I know it's a joke, but there's as much as this is supposed to represent lechem only. Is there a problem that this costs a lot more than bread?
Okay, that's a different side question. It's a shkafi question, but we'll answer that hopefully after the shiur. All right, so we got to the large piece. We put it away. Yachatz, we do it. Next, what's next? Anybody knows what comes after? We broke the middle matzah. We put it away. Now we have here 2.5 matzot. 2.5 matzot. I don't know if you see it. One hole on the bottom, one hole on top, and a small one in the middle. That's what we're up to. We are up to level a step already. We did over 6 steps. We're up to step 7 out of 15. We're going good. What's the step 7? Is magid. How do we start the word magid? How do we stop the magid? Anybody knows?
We were slave in Egypt.
No, before that we have to say halachma niyah. Okay. Now, Bukharians, what they do, they take it and they pass this around, and by the time they finish, it's about half hour to 45 minutes later. So for those people who are not Bukharian, it's a dreaded minhag. Nobody wants to be part of this. Because it takes a long time. Why does everybody have to say it? Nobody knows why. But that's the minhag. So, but the easy way out is you give this to the old person, and everybody, the whole people, the whole house says it together, and you move on. You save yourself half hour. Trust me, it's the best decision you'll ever make in your life. You don't have to say it to everyone, unless you have 5-6 people. Okay, it's going to take 2 minutes. But if you have as many people as we have right now, it's going to take about a half hour, 40 minutes, just to do halachmania. And then what they're going to do, they skip the most important parts. Okay, that's basically not a good thing to do. So we start halachmania. Hey, halachma is gematria 85. If you take the word hey lachma, this is the bread gematria 85. What else is 85? Peh, your mouth. Your mouth is 85. Why we do this? What's so significant about this? So the Mikubalim say, number 1 is because we are fixing our mouth before we eat the matzah. Before you eat the matzah, you have the one mitzvah d'oraita to eat something on this Passover night. What is that? Matzah. Before you do that, you got to fix your mouth. Maybe you said something wrong the whole year. Maybe you're eating not kosher all year. How do we know all what you did? Maybe you're not fitting to eat this matzah. So what do? You fix, you wash. You take a mouthwash. You take a spiritual mouthwash. What is the spiritual mouthwash for the night? Is the divrei Torah, the magid that we're going to say. And it starts with helachmania. That's why we started specifically with this one. We wash our mouth because the more you speak about Torah, now you have a rinse. Then when you come to the matzah, it's going to do its job properly. That's how it's supposed to be. Okay, so then what do? You say halachmania and you put it down. Every time you pick up the matzah, what do you have to do? You put after you put it down, then you put the seder plate away from the table. You take the seder plate and you put it away. Why? Because back then everybody had small plates, and this plate meant that food is coming. Once you put away the plate, back then meant that the meal is over. So what happens? You move the plate over and they say, okay, children thought, what? The meal is over, that's it. Time to go to sleep. But they say, what are you talking about? They will ask questions. Today it doesn't mean anything because you move the plate, they follow the Haggadah. Oh, take the Haggadah, put it in the end of the plate, table. Then they bring. Children don't understand. They think it's part of the ritual. So you have to literally make it in something for the little kids to ask. You have to take it away, put it in the kitchen, and say, that's it, guys, meal is over. That's what it meant back then. Meal is over. Today, so you try to verbalize that, so the children will say, no, daddy or bobo, no, it's not over. We have more things to do. We didn't even start yet. I have to ask manishtana. And then, that's when we do that, you put it away, then you pour the second cup. You pour the second cup of wine. This is the time you pour the second cup. And then the children ask manishtana. Once the children ask manishtana, then you bring the seder plate back. You bring it back, and then you start saying the seder. You start saying the magid. The portion of magid is one of the second mitzvot. This is two mitzvot the right that we have on this night. The second mitzvah to repeat and to say over the stories of what happened when we left Egypt. This is a mitzvah d'oraita. We're not supposed to talk during this night. You're not supposed to talk while you're doing this. You're supposed to do it in a language you understand. And you should know that while you're doing it, the Zohar says, angels are coming. Hashem is bringing angels to your house and says, look at how my children are praising me. Look at this. I'm so proud of, and Hashem is coming. So Rabotai, don't forget, it's a very, very holy night, and every word you say is a mitzvah, another mitzvah, another mitzvah, another mitzvah. And all these mitzvot you're going to take with you in Shamayim. Right? All these mitzvot we're going to take with us in Shamayim. Nobody's going to take it away from us. All right. During that, then after we do that, after we say bring the seder plate, we start saying Avodim Hayinu. And don't forget, the rule is, anytime the Haggadah says pick up the cup, what do you have to do? You have to cover the matzah. I forgot to mention in the beginning, before you do Kadesh, you got to cover the matzah, because just like on Shabbat, you cover the challah. When you make Kiddush, the same thing is here. When you pick up the cup, you cover the matzah. When the cup is down, you open the matzah. Don't forget, that's the rule when it comes. There is a period where we come to we read the 10 makot, and we're supposed to spill out some wine into the cup. So before that, try now, if you have a cup or something, make sure, you see this one is chipped. This is a broken cup. I'm not supposed to use this, but there's a broken cup. You find something like this in a house that has a broken, and you save it for the seder. You're supposed to pour it inside a broken cup. Right? Ashkenazim, they do it with the finger. They take with the finger like this. I don't know if you remember, but the Ravadia says no, you should do it only spilled. Minhag and Sfaradim is only to spill. Make sure in total you're going to spill 16 times. 10 times when there's a makot, and then the abbreviations. Okay? So that's when we do. And we read the Haggadah Shel Pesach, and we try to make sure the woman is sitting down and everything. Sometimes the stubborn people will get up, the table will try to prepare. So when you come to the poor paragraph called Pesach, Matzah, Maror, it's towards the end. It's right before we drink the second cup. You call everybody in. You say, Rabotai, it's landing time. It's landing. Sit down, buckle your seatbelts. We're going to land. Pick up your cup. We're going to drink second cup. Now it's time to bring. Everybody should be at least during the table, at least during this part. We're going to say Pesach, Matzah, Maror. Make sure they say Pesach, Matzah, Maror, because this is according to some. If you don't say that, you don't fulfill the opinion of Haggadah. So therefore, you sit down and you say Pesach. You say why Maror, why we pick up the Maror, why we pick up the Matzah, but you don't pick up the Pesach. You don't pick up the shangbon and the kiara. It's very important to whatever you use from the kiara, it should always, the kiara, as we said last week, should always be full. Always something should always stay on the plate. Never make it empty. Use other plates from other places. Okay, after you do that, then you're going to pick up the cup. You're going to make the blessing in Hebrew. Even though you're reading the Haggadah in Russian or English, when it comes to the bracha, Ravadia says you should say it in Hebrew, not in the English or Russian. So therefore, you're going to pick up the cup. You have to remind everybody, Rabotai, we're going to make the bracha. Don't forget, you lean. Don't forget, put the cup in your mouth. Drink right away. No sipping. And drink the whole cup. And then, that's it. You make the bracha. Have everybody, also tell them, no Baruch Baruch Shemo, no, only Amen. And you made bracha, and you drink and lean. Before you let people off the table, you also remind them, because now we're going to wash our hands. You can't talk. They're going to have to give the matzah. We have to now eat the matzah. You announce them all the rules. Rabotai, we're going to sit down. We're going to wash our hands. We're going to make anetilat yadayim. And I'm going to give everybody matzah. And you must eat matzah on leaning towards the left. You must, no talking and no dipping. And you eat it within 4 minutes.
Can't you talk?
You're not allowed to talk because you're in the middle of the mitzvah. You don't fulfill the mitzvah until you eat the whole kazayit. You must eat the kazayit, then you can talk. So therefore, no talking while you're chewing. So therefore, it's very hard. But announce it. Whoever listens, listens. You're not telling you to take a gun and force people. You announce. Whoever wants, they'll do. Who don't want, you do it yourself. So therefore, we do it. We get up, we wash our hands, and now this is the tricky part. For those who are leaders, this is where they get confused. So you take the 2 matzot. If you're the leader, make sure everybody should have a matzah. That's the best way. You will save a lot of time. Like I said, put it in a bag. Everybody should have maror and matzah on their plates, and this way it will much smoother. Much smoother. Will go much quicker. So you take the hands and you're gonna make 2 brachot. As a leader, you're gonna make what bracha? You're gonna make hamotzi lechem min haaretz. When we make hamotzi lechem min haaretz, because it's Yom Tov, how many breads you have to make a bracha on? 2. So here I have 2 whole. See, whole number 1, whole number 2. So I'm gonna make hamotzi lechem min haaretz, holding both of them. But then halacha, after you make the first bracha, you put one down. You put it down. Now I have 1.5. 1.5. Then I have to make asher kiddushan v'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al achilat matzah. Matzah, because it's lechem oni, I don't have to make it in 2 whole. I make it in 1.5, and therefore I make it and I take a kezayit from the top, 27 grams from the top, 27 grams from the bottom, and I have to eat it as a leader. I have to eat 2 times 27 grams.
Why?
Because you made 2 blessings. Okay, you should try to make 2. Everybody should try to have 2, but at least the leader should try to do 2, and everybody gives. So now, sometimes you want to give from this matzah. So what do? You take a little bit because you make a bracha. You taste it. You give out the matzah. You don't start eating. You give a matzah once everybody has. They shouldn't wait for you. Then you go to the left and you start eating your 27 grams like that on the left side. Yeah, if you're gonna eat this matzah, it will take you quite some time. This is I already tasted it. It's very thick and it's very not so soft. If you have a soft matzah, if you bought soft matzah, you're gonna eat it within a minute. It's this big, this much, because you have a soft matzah. It's much simpler, much faster. Okay. Any question? The Zohar calls it. Don't forget to remind people more chewing, less complaining. Because what do people do? Oh, this matzah is so hard. This matzah is so I can't eat this too much, and everybody starts complaining. Remind them what the Zohar says. The Zohar says this is machla da'asuta. This is a food of medicine. The Zohar says so. This is very important. This is going to be spiritual medicine for the whole entire year. What bracha? What kavanah we have to have when we eat the matzah? 2 mitzvot. 1 mitzvah we're fulfilling mitzvah seder oraita, and the Mikubalim say you should try to have tikkun whatever you ate. Tikkun etzadat actually. That's what it says. The tikkun etzadat, because Adam Arishon ate something for he's not supposed to. Now we're eating because Hashem told us what to eat. We are fixing with the tikkun of Adam Arishon. Any questions? No? Once we did that, then we eat the matzah. We have maror. We have to take maror. So as explained, these marors are problematic. Why? Because you see they have crevices. They have crevices. You have to wash them by hand, one by one. You're not going to be able to go ahead and do this. It's going to take a long time. Unless you have a few, 4 people, it's not a problem. So what do? You rip off the leaves like that. Not on Yom Tov, obviously rip it off before. And you're going to reach to something like that. You're going to get maror like this.
What's wrong with ripping it on Yom Tov?
Okay, you should try not to do, maybe get into issues of borer, but in the end of the day, it's going to take a long time. So therefore, about three of them, it sounds like is a kizayit. You're going to take maror and you're going to make a special blessing. Asher kiddushan stav itzvanu ala chilat maror. Do we lean when we say maror? No, because it reminds us of bitterness. So therefore, you're going to take the maror and you're going to dip it in charoset. Now, a lot of people, they love charoset. What they do, they use this as a scoop. They turn this into a scoop and they use it as a spoon and they have it like that as a scoop. You do not fulfill mitzvah maror this way. Why? Because now you did not taste the bitterness of the maror. You actually have to take off all the charoset from it. You just dip it and then eat the maror.
Do you have to have charoset?
Yeah, you must dip it in charoset, but you cannot eat the charoset. You have to shake it off. You could eat charoset. Okay, so don't just dip it a little bit and then take it off. But if you want to eat the charoset during the meal, go ahead, eat it, but not with the maror. Then you're going to make asher kiddushan stav itzvanu ala chilat maror. You eat it, 27 grams. Then you're going to take from the bottom matzah that you have left over. You're going to have to make a sandwich. You're going to take another one. You're going to do korech. You're going to take another same amount. You're going to take another 27 grams. It's about 1/3 of this matzah, and you're going to make a sandwich. And again, lean it on the left side. Make korech. So therefore, we got through all the steps, 11 steps. But the maror korech also, you dip in the charoset. Also shake it off. That's after we do this. Now we're able to do the finally the step of Shulchan Orech. We're able to come to what? To eat the final meal. People are waiting, the most awaited thing. People are waiting to eat. But before you do that, as they take out the food, as a leader, you have to tell Rabotai, don't forget, you have to leave room for 27 grams or more matzah, not 1/3 of a matzah. You must eat as afikoman towards the end. And you have to eat it on an appetite. You have to eat it on appetite. If you are full and you're forcing yourself, according to some, you do not fulfill the mitzvah. You cannot force yourself to eat it. So you make sure you leave room and you eat it with appetite. Make sure you eat it with appetite. So therefore, tell the people not to eat too much food, because in the end of the day, you have to have more matzah. After you finish eating, Shulchan Orech, you're going to tell people, Rabotai, that's it. It's time to make it's time to make to eat the afikoman. You bring the afikoman and you eat it. Now, obviously, this piece that we put aside, is this going to be enough for everyone? No. So how is this 27 grams? So how many people? Maybe one person. So what do? You give a small piece like this, and you give them a 27 grams on the box. That's what you do. So you tell them to eat this, and there's a segulot. A lot of segulot people take this matzah and they also put it together with salt. Now, why am I saying salt? Because on second night we're going to do something called Sfirat Omer. So Mikubalim say if you want to have a segula for some sort of shmirah, to always have like a talisman type of thing, you take some salt, put it in the bag, and during the first Sfirat Omer you say certain tehillims. It's in many sidurim, and then you take that, you put together with the afikoman matzah, and you're good to go. You always carry it. Some goyim used to actually come and actually say, "Can I have some afikoman matzah?" They know this matzah used to have a lot of powers. They used to be able to stop waters with it, hurricanes, tsunamis, stuff like that. You hear many stories like this. So Rabotai, take some of this matzah, put it in your pocket, but doesn't mean that you eat a little bit. You eat 27 grams, you take a small piece and you put it in your pocket. That's it.
I'll put it in your pocket.
A pocket for shmirah, as I said, that's for segula type of thing. But that's only after you eat the 27 grams. If you don't eat the 27 grams, what kind of a shmirah you'll have? So that's when it comes to that. Tell people you gotta eat it on the left, no talking, no dipping, eat it on the left side, finish the matzah within 3-4 minutes. Now, why is this? What does this remind us? The tzafun reminds us the future meal we're gonna have when Mashiach will come, which is called the Leviathan. So that Leviathan, we're gonna have a meal of Leviathan, and that meal is going to be also in the future. Tzafun, it's hidden from us. That's why we eat this to remind ourselves. But technically speaking, halachically, this is supposed to be instead of Korban Pesach. That's why we say Zechel Korban Pesach, Hanechal ala Sova. That's what we say before we eat Afikoman. Then after that, you pour the third cup of wine, and you're about to start the Birkat Hamazon. The cup number 3, you pour it. You do Mayim Achronim. Don't forget, you're not allowed to talk Mayim after Mayim Achronim. Technically speaking, after you do washing hands for bread, you're allowed to talk if you need to. But Mayim Achronim, it's asur to talk. Asur to talk. You pour the third cup. You tell people, Rabotai, don't forget, leaning on the left side, put the cup out. Don't forget to say Yalev Yavo and say the Birkat Hamazon. And after Birkat Hamazon, you're going to say Bracha Savri Maranam Borei Pri Gefen, and you're going to lean on the left side and drink it. Now you drank already 3 cups. You pour for yourself the 4th cup. Some people have a minhag to open the door and say Shafo Chamatecha, and then you're about to say Halel. It's brought down in the Mikubalim that if a person wants kapara avonot, a person wants to have forgiven for all his sins, what should he do? Say the Halel with happy, loud, and pleasant tune. This is usually people after 3 cups of wine, they're tired and exhausted. They come on, quick. Who reads the fastest? Can you quickly read the Halel for us? That's not how it should be. You should read together like in the shul. In the shul, like where we read in the shul, that's how everybody should read Halel. You should try. Whoever wants, you don't have to force anyone. And whoever does it like that will get the kapara slicha for his avonot. So you should try to hold the cup the whole entire time while you are doing the Halel. But you try again sleeping, no sleeping, enthusiastic, and after that you're gonna say Melech Moral Batishpachot. Again, you lean towards the left side and you're gonna drink the 4th cup. After the 4th cup, you're gonna have to make ala gefen, because you just drank a cup of wine, and then after that is nirtza. That's the 16th step. Nirtza, which means that Kadosh Baruch Hu should accept, and we should be favorable in Hashem's eyes. And that's the time people you sing different songs. Echad mi yodea, Yakum Minki Medonad, and then you have Echad Gadia, and all these songs. So basically, that's a quick rundown of the Seder. And now, if anybody has any questions, we'll take questions.